I think people need to disconnect, uncondition themselves, unlearn everything that they've been taught through mainstream media, mainstream schooling, all that other stuff, and understand, that Black lives do matter because they've been disenfranchised from the very beginning of the time that they came to this country. Yes, they have rights today, but, if we really take a good hard look at it, their rights are minimal compared to what white people have. Let my partner even just look at the cop the wrong way, which is what he was detained for. The quote was, "I don't like the way you looked at me." And to actually see where my white privilege actually allowed me to mouth off and say whatever I wanted to the cop, but my Black partner looks at the cop in any kind of way, and he was fully detained and threatened with arrest. We still have the issue of Jordan Baker, in which Janet Baker came out, his mother came out last night to a protest, and she just does not want us to forget her son. And I agree with that. I think that her son shouldn't just be a hashtag and the new fad that we remember for about 5 minutes and then forget about him. The cop who murdered him was just recently no-billed a couple of months ago by a grand jury. We know that the system out here is serving money, the elite, so to speak. It's kind of like part of the whole criminalizing the homeless and making it illegal to feed the homeless. That message didn't come down from just people like you and I. That came down from the elite, the people sitting at the top of the buildings downtown who don't want to deal with the homeless down there. But we've got to start holding our city leaders accountable. We got to start getting with the chief of police and asking the tough questions that he tends to run away from. The mayor of Houston, we need to be packing the city council and questioning why it is that this stuff is allowed to go on in our city. And the whole default answer of go to internal affairs is it's not even, it's unfathomable, because you can't use internal affairs. They're part of the police. This country was built on enslavement and slaughter and murder, and so they speak up against Baltimore, but this country has been built on that, and they love murder, they love torture, and we're trying to bring a stop to that. And where it concerns Black individuals, they've never had a voice out here. Even though I'm 100% behind Martin Luther King, I also understand, again, because this country has been created on violence, that it almost takes an act of violence. I mean, look at the Baltimore situation. They're listening now, but it took violence in order for that to happen. Would everybody want to go the peaceful route and say, let's try to work this out across the table? Absolutely. But when you had Occupy come out and try to go the peaceful route, we were met with police with brutal force. When you've had Black Lives Matter and different brutality protests all around the country for the last couple of years, we try to go the peaceful route. Still went on deaf ears. Nobody's really listening to what's going on here. So when Baltimore gets enraged and starts lighting fires and starts, the rioting and all of that, now people are starting to listen. And, I think, though I wouldn't want to go that way, I get it and I understand why, So if they're not going to listen to us peacefully, they're almost leaving us no choice. In Houston alone, we've never, ever done a protest that was ever violent. Maybe some civil disobedience was shutting down a freeway here and there. But as far as, being violent, rioting, looting, that's not Houston's thing. And I think with a city this big, we can all come together, be joined as one, support each other, and then continue to raise the awareness, but then also start holding our city leaders accountable for not doing anything. The mayor is the boss of the police department, and I think it's time that we start, questioning things from that angle as well with the city.
And in the 2010s, when Black youth, brown youth, when queer people are standing together trying to fight against the system of brutality, police officers are still killing us.